guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. And via a request from a comment, Marco, this video is for you. We are going to be recapping and grading the Miami Dolphins free agency so far. They've made a lot of big moves, gotten some big names. We're going to break it down.
They've had a lot of cap space and a lot of time to really think about this since they were said to be tanking. Brian Flores obviously didn't do that last year. They won some games regardless, which is very good for their organization, and now they have a lot of things to add. Obviously, the main one being cornerback Byron Jones. Now him and Xavier Howard are going to be a really good tandem. It's going to be fun to watch. So let's start with talking about that one. Yeah, Byron Jones was probably one or two in cornerbacks coming into free agency. I think Chris Harris would probably be ranked at one, and then Byron Jones right next to him at two. Has had some more rough years with Dallas, but still a very good wide receiver. And throughout this video, we'll probably get with a theme of the Dolphins picking up some more defensive players in the free agency.
No surprise, Brian Flores, the head coach.
Yeah. So Byron Jones is a good cornerback, and like you said, he'll be lining up with Xavier Howard. So that defense is going to get a lot scarier. Now they just got to figure out on offense. We'll talk about one offensive move that they made later, but they got to figure out on offense. Maybe go out and draft Tua or whoever they go up. Maybe trade up to get Burrow if the Bengals want to get rid of it. Don't think that will happen. But the Dolphins got options. Their defense is looking better. Now I'd just like to see it from their offense, and I think that's even still improving. We'll get to that later, like I said.
Yeah, and they paid Byron Jones a lot of money, but I think it's worth it.
How much was it?
Yeah, they did pay him a lot. I think, did they make him the highest paid corner?
I think so.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you look at that tandem with Howard and Jones, as you mentioned, like, that's probably one of the better tandems in the league right there. Like, really, it's just so incredible how quickly this is seeming to turn around for Miami. I know they still got to prove it, because it's one thing to make all these moves in the offseason, but then you got to put it on the field. But, I mean, this could turn around fairly quickly.
Yeah, it could, actually. You're right about that. The deal was 5 years, $82.5 million deal. All right, let's talk about some more stuff that they did. Bringing in more defense. Kyle Van Noy was another big one. Been with the Patriots for a while now. Staying within the division down south to Miami.
Yeah, and, I think that's interesting because, the rule for Patriot players leaving free agency, they're only allowed to go to Detroit or Miami, so he chose Miami. So, there you go. But I think that Miami, first of all, it's probably a really attractive destination for free agents because, one, they got a lot of cap space, so the money part. But I think that people are starting to realize that, hey, this team has a bright future. They got a lot of draft picks, good coaching. So I really think the addition of Van Noy, obviously he knows Brian Flores well because they were both in New England as Flores was the defensive coordinator in New England, obviously when Van Noy was there. So I think that's another good pickup to just bolster this defense because Miami, they still have a lot of needs despite the kind of pleasantly surprising 5-win season they had last year, but I think it's good that they already have that connection. So I think that's another good pickup for them, and that should continue to help this defense continue to progress and get better.
Yeah, they had a lot of positions to fill. They filled a lot of them on defense. Jordan, you have something to say about that?
Oh, I was just looking at stats from Byron Jones, and actually it was interesting to me that he had no interceptions this year. Actually hasn't had a lot in his career. Did get a forced fumble. So his stats not really showing perfection, but he is a lockdown player, and I think most of it's probably a lot of teams don't throw in his direction as much.
Yeah.
But the stats don't say it, but he is still obviously a good player and someone that the Dolphins, like we talked about, paying a lot, were willing to go out and get. So I was just looking at that. I was interested and thought I would share it with you all. So, yeah, that's what I had to say. And we were talking about defense.
Yeah.
What do I think about the defense? Is that what you're asking?
Well, let's just move on to the next player.
Okay, yeah.
This is... All right. So, this might be the most underrated one, and I think might be their best signing. This is just my opinion, but they needed to go offensive line, and they signed Eric Flowers, the guard. So that is really going to be helpful to whoever their quarterback is going to be. They're going to bring in someone probably in the draft, and Eric Flowers could be a guy that's there to hold the foundation of the offensive line.
Yeah, they still probably, at least in my opinion, I do expect them to draft an offensive lineman in the first round with one of those 3 picks. In my latest mock, I think I have him taking an alignment at 26. So I do think that there's still work to do on that offensive line, especially if they are going to draft Tua, a guy who's going to need protection because of the injury concerns and just because of how much he likes to move around in the pocket and make those long-lasting plays. But I do agree. I think that is an underrated signing, and I think, offensive linemen are very hard to find. Very good offensive linemen are hard to find. And Eric Flowers, I believe he was a first-round pick, and I believe of the Giants, I want to say, but he actually was in Washington last year, kind of, resurrected his career a little bit with this deal. So I do think this is a good thing for Miami. Good job bringing him in, but there still has to be work done on the offensive line, but I think they'll hit on that via draft.
Yeah, that's pretty good analysis right there, Ryan. Jordan, do you have any thoughts, or ready to move on to the next player?
No, I think Ryan covered a lot. Offensive line, a very important position in football, so it's always good to go out and improve that to help a young quarterback that we most likely will see coming in with the upcoming draft.
Yes. Okay.
And
We got two more that I want to talk about. They actually made a bunch of signings, but not very notable ones, except for the ones that we're going to talk about.
I have three.
Oh, you have three?
Yeah, I'll mention two, and then I don't know. Ryan briefly talked about one. I'll mention that one last. These are not the ones I'm mentioning right now. Mentioning the two linebackers that they picked up, Kyle Van Noy from New England, and then Landon Roberts. So improving at that linebacker position, probably the more weak point of their defense. Ryan talked about people coming from New England. Well, Kyle Van Noy, like he said, came from New England. So improving at that linebacker position. And a lot of their positions on defense are okay. They have Xavier Howard at corner, so they didn't need to go out and get two other corners. They got one, like we talked about before. Safety could be a bit of an issue, and then the line also as well. Didn't really focus on the defensive line in this free agency. Maybe we'll do that in the draft. We'll see how it goes. But not any premier pass rushers that I can think of on the Dolphins as I'm sitting here right now.
Well, they
just got
Shaq Lawson. Is that what
Yeah, I
you're
was
saying?
just gonna say
Yeah,
another person they took from the division.
exactly. I did want to mention that one. That's another big one.
Oh, I read the wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, I did read the right one. Never mind. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well,
okay, Jordan.
regardless, they signed Shaq Lawson, and that's going to be probably another good one. He was the 19th overall pick in the 2016 draft, so another first overall pick for them, as they have some coming up in the draft as well. But now another one on their team.
And they also got Emmanuel Agba at the
Yes,
defensive line position area.
that's right. That's another key one. And then the last one I want to talk about, which I actually haven't heard many people talking about, and it should be talked about more, is Jordan Howard.
Yeah, Ryan briefly talked about this one before with Jordan Howard.
Yeah, but
Being-
I feel like we got to hit on it.
No,
Yeah.
I was just saying he did touch on it,
Yeah.
but I was going to go into more detail on it. Me being a Bears fan, I had Jordan Howard on my team for a few years. He was probably my favorite player while I was on the team. And yes, he got worse and worse as the seasons went along, I guess you can say. But with Chicago, he was over 1,000 yards, I think, every single year that he was a starter. Not sure what he got last year. He was in and out of the lineup with the Eagles. But I think Jordan Howard is still a premier running back in the NFL. I think that he is still young, and he is a very powerful back. And like Ryan said, the tandem in Miami is going to be very interesting and fun to watch. Also, getting Jordan Howard takes away the possibility of the Dolphins possibly trying to draft a running back with one of their first three picks in the first round, or maybe one later. But by signing Jordan Howard, that's a little bit more slim of an option to happen.
Yeah, and just one quick thing I want to add on the Howard signing. They didn't pay him that much, so I don't think
Yeah,
it's
they
something
did.
that. Yeah, what was it? 2 years, $10 million or something like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't that much.
It
I
was
might be
very
off,
low
but-
risk deal.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as the Dolphins drafting a running back, I think it pretty much rules it out for at least the first round. But remember, this team has a lot of draft picks. There's a lot of good running backs that are going to go on day two. So if a guy like Jonathan Taylor or J.K. Dobbins is there when they pick in the second round, I mean, that'd be a really good tandem right there,
Yeah.
one of them with Jordan Howard. Because I don't know if you want to, invest all of your running game in Jordan Howard, because Jordan, as you mentioned, he has been declining a little bit, even though he still does have some potential. So yeah, Miami's got options, and we're really going to see this team really create an identity over the continuation of the offseason and the draft. Because as I mentioned, they do have the most draft picks of any team. Don't know the exact number, but it's a lot.
Not two Miami teams, but two Florida teams looking up. We talked about the Bucks in a previous video. Go check that one out. We mainly talked about Tom Brady in that video, but we covered some other stuff too. And then right now we're talking about the Dolphins, the Jaguars, not looking up as much, but who knows? Maybe Gardner Minshew will go out there and put on a show for us, and we'll all be stunned by how good the Jaguars are after they're trading all these players away and letting people go. But they do look like they're in rebuild mode, so
Yeah.
don't expect them to be good. Just wanted to mention the Florida teams since there are three of them. Florida and California, they like to have a lot of teams. Although one of them did move out of California, the Raiders moved to Nevada.
There you go.
There you
Good
go.
state knowledge
Jordan, you're
there.
on today.
I know. I'm really not.
Okay, so now that we've talked about a couple of the main free agency signings that they've had, let's give them a grade. Who wants to start here?
I gotta think someone else start.
Well, I'll think while I'm saying this, but I'm looking at a website. They gave him a B+ on the website, so I just wanted to point that out. It's CBS Sports. If you were wondering, trying to talk as I try to pick my number so I don't make it quiet. I'm also looking at a picture of Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles on my screen, so that's not helping me.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's very needed.
I'm going to give them I don't want to copy the thing on the screen, but I actually kind of like it. So I'm going to give them a B+. I think that they filled a lot of needs. I think with the draft they'll fill more of those needs, but for now, I like what they did. Signing some big players, and that's my analysis for today.
Ryan, you ready?
Yeah, I am ready.
All right, go.
I'm going to go with an A- because I really like a lot of the players that they brought in. I think they fit their needs well because they do have a lot of needs. Even though they do have some potential, they still had a lot of holes, a lot of places to get better. And they filled a lot of them. You know, they might have overpaid Byron Jones a little bit because you mentioned Jordan didn't have an interception. But, you know, sometimes, you know, it's go big or go home. And I think that it's good that I like when teams spend big in free agency. I think you got to be aggressive if you want to win. You can't just wait and see who let all the other big names just go and find destinations, and you're just stuck with what's left. I like how they went out and got the players they wanted, the players they had connections to. They played against Kyle Van Noy and Shaq Lawson a lot, so some familiarity there. Overall, I thought it was really good. And on the offensive side, some additions, you know, they not getting as much recognition, but Eric Flowers and Jordan Howard, kind of two quiet, good additions that'll help with depth purposes. And I really think what this really does is this frees up Miami to have a more offensive mindset heading into the draft, at least for day one. Because I think that it's probably going to be quarterback with the first pick, best player available with the 18th pick, and then probably an offensive lineman at 26, something like that. But I really think that they filled a lot of holes on the defense, so I think day one Miami's going to have an offensive mindset.
I just thought it was ironic how Ryan was talking about liking their teams to be aggressive, and his team was very aggressive, trading away DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, you gotta be smart. Like, you have to know what you're doing.
I just want to throw that shade at you.
Now, could you tilt your camera a little bit just so we can see the nice
there's
jersey?
that number 10.
Yeah,
And the jersey's even red. It's so sad.
yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, that's the Texans fans' now old DeAndre Hopkins jersey. But I'm gonna give my grade really quickly. Ryan,
I mean, it's red for the Cardinals.
yeah, that's why he said it. That's ironic. But we're all gonna have a little bit different grades here. But I'm gonna be just ahead of both of you guys a little bit. I'm gonna give him a solid A, not an A+, just A, like mid-range A. You know.
So like a
Like a 94 to a 96.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it depends on what school you go to, so they have
Yeah,
different
exactly.
grading
Well,
scales.
yeah.
we're not going into that part.
Yeah.
But I think they fill a lot of holes, as Ryan said, and the only thing that's keeping me from saying that they really didn't do as good as they could have was the fact that they overpaid Byron Jones. But Ryan, you said it. You have to overpay guys in free agency if there's a big market for them. They wanted Byron Jones. They're going to have a really good cornerback tandem now, and I think that's really cool. You watch all the other, every single slot where you looked at, you could say at least if it was a free agent, a big one or a small one, they seem to fill it. And the ones that they haven't filled yet, they're saving that for the draft. And I think this team could be set next year, so I'm giving them an A for my free agency grading. Okay, as Jordan took that remote off the table,
we're gonna wrap this video up. Thank you guys for watching this video. Once again, Marco, I hope you've enjoyed this video, especially since you gave us the idea. It was a good idea.
So operation was your idea.
Yes, it was. And just a quick comment from me, as I always do at the end of the videos, just stepping in. As our friend Marco put a comment to do this video, if you guys have any comments for us to do a video on, go into the comments section. If we like it, we'll do it. We appreciate every suggestion and every word that's in those comment sections. Yeah, Jordan said it right. Let us know if you guys want us to make any sort of videos. Let us know if you like these videos and you want us to make one for your team. Yeah, but make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, comment like we said. And with that, we will see you guys later. See ya.
See ya.